Good afternoon, class. In today's video, what I'd like to do is to go over a formal treatment of how to complete the square. So what I wanted to do was to show you how to actually really go over the thought process in how to do this. That's why I wrote what my thoughts were in red and my actual formulas in blue. So here we go. For a general quadratic formula, and this is a generalized quadratic formula, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, I'm also going to label this equation 1. And I've got my equation 2 over here. That's why they're in parentheses. And I've also got an equation 3 over here. So I just wanted to show that to say, hey, be aware. I'm not multiplying by 1 or I'm multiplying by 2 or I'm multiplying by 3. I'm not actually doing that. I'm actually declaring that these are different equations that I'm going to be referencing in my thoughts. Okay, so here we go. So I've got my generalized equation here for a quadratic formula, equation 1. And I want to reduce this to the form somewhat of this, where I want to have x plus something quantity squared. So I want to inject another term in there. And of course, what is d? We have no idea what that is. So I don't know what it is, and I'm not going to try to figure this out. I'm going to leave it like that. That's why I have the word somewhat in here. And I'm just going to say, okay, this is the form that I want, so how do I get there? And that's what I'm going to do. And notice, I hope everyone notices that I don't have any numbers in here. There are no, there are no specific examples within this. These are purely general results. So if you are looking for this to help you on a specific homework problem, I'm sorry, that's not what the purpose of this video is. The purpose of this video is to get to a result that we're looking for, because then in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect completing the square to the quadratic formula. So I'm going to use the result that I get here to the quadratic formula to show you where it comes from. And that way, if you're, whichever method you feel more comfortable using, you have now the tools to actually, work through those problems using those specific. So, you've got a general tool here, and then what you can do is then plug in or substitute all of the specific data from the actual problems to actually help you solve those problems. But before you can get to that, you need the actual general tool to help you out with that. So that's something to think about. I just want you to understand that that's the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is not to help you with any specific homework problem. This is to help you with these types of homework problems in general. Okay, so we've got that. A plus x, we're looking for this formulation. So we're going to solve for d starting at equation 1. So what I did was I'm just going to show you all my steps. I got ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So really, I don't want to have that a on the outside. I don't really want that term over there. So what I did was I divided both sides of the equation by a. So I've got x squared plus b over ax plus c over a equals 0. So then I look at that and go, okay, we've got something here. I want to get into this form, so I'm going to have x squared plus b over ax. I've got to add something to it. Now, that's why I put these parentheses here, and I left it blank, because I don't actually know what I'm going to be sticking in there. But I know I got to square it. But of course, if I'm going to square something, if I'm going to add something to one side of the equation, I'd have to add it to the other side of the equation. But I don't want to do that. I actually want to keep this as 0 on this side of the equation, because that's the form that I'm looking for. This has to stay at 0. So in order to do that, there's a little mathematical trick for you, right? Normally you multiply by something, and then you can do the opposite operation to get it the other way. But in this case, if we add something, we subtract the same thing, we'll get the result of 0 that we need, so that nothing has to change. So now I look at this and go, oh, okay, well this formulation looks like x plus something squared, x plus something quantity squared equal plus c over a minus something squared equals 0. And this form over here looks like the form that I'm looking for here, so I can keep moving on. I'm going to find out what this blank is, what these parentheses are. So b over a is going to, obviously, because of the formulation of this, because in the generalized form, x plus something quantity squared is x squared plus 2 times something x plus something squared. So b over a is 2 times this something, so therefore the something is b over 2a. So therefore, when I take my quadratic formula, generalized, I get x plus b over 2a, quantity squared, plus c over a minus b over 2a, quantity squared, equals 0. That is the result that I am looking for. In the next video, because I'm running out of space here, what I'll do in the next video is I will take this to its logical conclusion to show you where the quadratic formula comes from. So good luck in your studies. May the force be with you.